Today we have gathered here to raise the flag, solidarity for the International Trans Day of Visibility. This annual event, which occurs on March 31st, is dedicated to celebrating the transgender community and raise awareness of the discrimination faced by transgender men and women worldwide. TDOV was founded by transgender activist Rachel Crandell of Michigan in 2009 as a reaction to the lack of LGBTQIA recognition for transgender people, citing the frustration that only known transgender-centered day was the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which mourned the murders of transgender people but did not acknowledge or celebrate living members of the transgender community as well as their contributions. As we raise this flag today, I pay homage to Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who established Star House, a shelter for homeless gay and trans youth in New York City. I'm a proud product of Marsha P. Johnson's activism. Without her, I would never have survived the cold nights and lonely days of New York. Marsha was a mentor and a friend who helped a shy boy like me who stutters find his voice and his strength. I also pay homage to Miss Major Griffin Garcia, black trans woman who helped lead and shape the trans rights movements in the U.S. As executive director for the Transgender, Variant, and Intersex Justice Project, she advocated for incarcerated transgender women of color who suffered from police brutality, poverty, racism, and gender discrimination. We have come a long way towards equality, and we have those leaders along those, and we have these leaders along with many others to be thankful for. The trans community has been the backbone of the LGBTIQA movement. I'll get it together in a minute. So the next time that you celebrate Pride Month by going to a Pride parade with your friends or wearing a rainbow t-shirt, remember the historical context behind the movement. Don't forget that the festive parades that you attend now were started as angry protest. Celebrate how far we've come, but don't forget the sacrifices that our transgender ancestors have made for us to be here. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Well, I had some remarks, but I think Lito pretty much got the best bits. So I just want to say that Transgender Day of Visibility is really about making sure that we don't focus only on the loss of our brothers and sisters and our non-binary kin, but we actually celebrate and we raise awareness about how much they contribute to our community. It is not just about the struggles, but about their achievements. They have their contributions to society. It's a day to acknowledge and recognize the importance of visibility for people who identify as trans and gender nonconforming, and to promote greater acceptance and understanding within our diverse community. We live in a world right now that is attacking those people who we love. It is setting itself against people for their mere existence. And so we must show solidarity, we must show strength, and we must be able to stand in front to be able to make sure that they do not have to bear the weight of every sling and arrow that is thrown against them. As well, we live in a world where transgender individuals face multiple challenges every day, from discrimination, harassment, and lack of access to basic human rights. Many are forced to struggle with violence, exclusion, and social isolation simply because of who they are. This is a day to serve as an opportunity to shed light on those issues and honor the resilience and the strength of their community, and be grateful that they are willing to be a part of all of our communities. This is not just to acknowledge their struggles, though, but we need to make sure we celebrate their contributions to art, science, politics, and every other facet of human existence. They are integral and valuable parts of our community, and by being visible and embracing their identities, they inspire and empower others to do the same. We need to foster greater awareness and acceptance of our transgender brothers and sisters. It is not just a matter of social justice, but it is critical to creating a more inclusive and diverse workplace and community at large. By embracing differences and promoting an open and welcome environment for all, we can ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive and succeed. So let's take today as an opportunity to celebrate, to learn more about the lives and experience and contributions of our transgender and gender nonconforming friends, family, and colleagues. Working together, we can create the world where everyone is free to be their authentic selves without fear of judgment or discrimination. So we are going to have the proclamation read by the mayor's office. And thank you for attending.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shiva Mishik. I'm Chief of Staff to Mayor Eduardo Martinez. He sends his regrets that he couldn't be here today. I want to say before I read this that we knew this day was coming up, and so his way of preparing for it was he and I have been exchanging poems written by trans poets all week, and so it's been a really beautiful week for both of us to immerse ourselves in this particular art form. So I'll feel free to ask about favorite trans poems. There's some really beautiful ones we've been enjoying in our office. So thank you so much for letting us participate and share this day with you all. And so with that, this is the proclamation for the Transgender Day of Visibility in the city of Richmond, California. Whereas the city of Richmond, California recognizes and celebrates the diversity of our community, including those who identify as transgender, gender nonconforming, and non-binary. And whereas the city of Richmond supports and values the contributions of all individuals, regardless of identity, gender identity, or expression, in building a strong and thriving community. And whereas Transgender Day of Visibility, observed annually on March 31st, is a day to honor and celebrate the resilience, courage, and achievements of transgender and gender nonconforming people. And whereas Transgender Day of Visibility also serves as a reminder of the ongoing struggle for transgender rights and the need to continue advocating for the safety, dignity, and equality of all transgender and gender nonconforming people. And whereas the city of Richmond recognizes that discrimination against transgender and gender nonconforming people still exists and is committed to promoting and protecting the human rights of all individuals, including those who are transgender and gender nonconforming. Now, therefore, I, the mayor of Richmond, California, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2023 as Transgender Day of Visibility in the city of Richmond, California, and encourage all residents to join in celebrating the diversity and contributions of transgender and gender nonconforming individuals in our community. We also call upon all residents to continue working toward creating a world where all individuals are valued, respected, and able to live free from discrimination and prejudice. Signed, Eduardo Martinez, Mayor of Richmond.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, I was just going to introduce that we're going to raise the flag, and we thank the mayor's office and city council in the city of Richmond. And then after we've raised the flag, we'll have a few comments from the former president of Richmond Railroad Pride, Cesar Zepeda, as well as one of our members of our community, to be able to speak further upon this day. Woo! Ooh, beautiful. So we are going to welcome the former president of Richmond Member Pride, current city council member, Presidente Cesar Zepeda.
This is a beautiful morning. Thank you everyone for coming out, literally and figuratively in every which way. I remember a couple of years ago, for the first time we raised the trans flag, there was only a handful of people here, and it was beautiful. And little by little, we are being more visible. We are out in the community, letting people know, even if there's only a handful of us, that there is someone out there that's looking at us, maybe questioning themselves, maybe questioning for somebody else, and trying to make this world a better place. So even if only one of us shows up to raise this flag, that visibility is very, very important. Because it's not for us that could stand here today and be out. It's not for us that can stand here today and be able to fight off that hate. But to me, it's always been about those that can't yet be out here. So that is why this is an important event, because it is not just for us. It is for all those others that have gone before us, to thank them. It is for those that left us because they weren't able to live in this world just quite yet. And also for those that are yet to come. We're making a world that's going to be better. The past couple of years when we raised this flag, we were putting a stone on our path to allow everyone in the future to come out here. And I will be remiss without saying that one of those persons that allowed us to put one of those stones forward was our former council member, Javanka Beckles. Thank you for joining us today. It takes each and every single one of us to lay that foundation. And remember, you're not doing it just for yourself. You are doing it for future generations. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for allowing us all to be visible and to continue fighting hate together. Thank you.
Thank you, Caesar. So actually, to speak to that, I am going to invite somebody up here who was present when we did the first flag raising. He's a good friend of mine, Stefano. He's a member of our community, and he's going to speak a few words about the importance of this day. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jamin. Hi, how you doing? Whew, that was fun, huh? So my name is Stefano Gonzalez. I'm a resident here in Richmond. I'm a voter, a business owner, a taxpayer, a husband, and a stepfather. And I also happen to be a trans man who helped draft the proclamation for the Transgender Day of Remembrance here in Richmond in 2019. So I just came here today to be visible. I wanted to show the community that people like me exist. There are people here that are doing the same things that you do every day as allies of the trans community, though some of us can't be visible. So the trans people, we go to work, we go to school, we visit the same institutions that you do. We, we eat burritos on 23rd Street, we go shopping at Target, we walk our dogs at the Point, right? So it's kind of ironic that trans lives right now are at risk. My life among them. We now find ourselves at risk of losing our health care, risk of losing our rights to play sports, and at risk of losing our rights to use the bathroom across the country. 44 states have proposed anti-trans bills this year alone, California among them, with AB 1314. The trans community is in crisis mode, as this man is demonstrating. By raising the trans flag and adopting the proclamation for the Trans Day of Visibility, the city of Richmond is not only showing their support for my life, but you show support for those trans people who are not visible. The trans people we've lost to violence, the trans people who are in the closet, the trans kids who are losing their rights in other states, and the trans voters right here in Richmond, California. Thank you to the mayor, thank you to Richmond City Council, the Richmond Rainbow Pride Board, and to everyone else who made this happen, and thank you to our allies and our supporters. Your support means more than you know. Thank you.
Wow. I'd like to first thank everyone for being here today. It still bothers me that we live in a world of hate. But I think about something that Marcia once said to me. And that was, no matter what they say, always remember who you are and why you do what you do.
Richmond Rainbow Pride has been here for 9 years. We have been here because we saw a gap in the community. We saw people who were not feeling included, who were not being brought in, and we wanted to make sure that we made that space and made sure that people saw us in the community and know that we are Richmond. I also want to invite you all to Richmond Rainbow Pride's in-person Pride celebration, which will be on June 4th. We are having it here in the center of Richmond, and we really hope everybody will turn up. And we know that we'll see Caesar, we will see the mayor's office, and I'm sure we'll might see some other folks. But Pride is about celebrating visibility and being part of this community is one of my greatest honors, and I appreciate everybody for taking the time out of their day to be here. Thank you.